Hey everybody, Rob here. It's time for a couple new entitled parent stories. First one, entitled Dad trashes my basement and it's my fault. Let's jump right in. Join the KCC Discord. We're giving away one of those custom pens I've made, link down below. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing for more daily Reddit stories. Backstory: my parents got a divorce when I was 3. Since then, my father, who we will call entitled Dad from now, has not really been in the picture. Imagine any stereotypical movie of a kid sitting on the front steps, bags packed and ready to go, just to find out that something came up, and the weekend trip has been cancelled. The rare times that entitled Dad did pick me up, I was dumped off with my grandparents and he would suddenly become sick. This continued until I was 19 and moved out of my mom's house. This is when he finally decided to re-establish contact with me, not because I am his son, but because now he can try to use me to meet girls around my age. This is how things have remained to this day 10 years later. Him showing up and begging to either pick up women or go to strip clubs, many times in front of my current girlfriend. Honestly, I could tell stories about him for days. An important note about my father: he is a truck driver, overweight, smells terrible, and horribly addicted to tobacco, all forms. This plays a big part in this story. That brings me to the start of this year. Out of the blue, entitled Dad calls me and says that he was to watch the Super Bowl with me at my house. After talking it over and thinking that I have not seen him in over a year, I foolishly agree to have him over. February rolls around and I get a call from him again. Here he insisted that he stays with me for the entire weekend, maybe more. After him pushing very strongly, I reluctantly agree, again thinking that it has been so long and things will be fine. Super Bowl weekend arrives and that Friday, entitled Dad comes rolling into town. Within minutes, he is complaining about everything and anything, asking where the best place to meet women is at. At this point, I'm already regretting my choice to let him stay, but I am too far into it at this point. I get him settled into the small bedroom in the basement, then we go about meeting up with my brothers and his grandkids, which is a story for another time and another shit show. However, while meeting up with my brother, he decided that he wanted to watch the Super Bowl game with everyone. We decided to do it at my brother's house because there was more room. Finally, we are at Super Bowl Sunday, and about noon, I go downstairs to wake up entitled Dad. To this point, I had avoided going downstairs and just waited upstairs for him. I knock on the door, and he tells me to come in. I don't make it far though, because as soon as I open the door, I am assaulted by the overpowering smell of BO, which is made a million times worse because of the space heater that he turned on himself being set on high and the small room being over 90 degrees. Through watering eyes and softly gagging, I tell entitled Dad that we need to leave soon. This is when he tells me that he wants to sleep a little longer and to go on ahead without him and start cooking and setting up. At this point, I just agree to it because I could not focus with the smell. Also, no, he did not notice that I was struggling because he just woke up and did not have his glasses on. At this point, I did not notice the state of the room because my eyes were watering and I could not focus. I head to my brother's house and I had just barely walked in the door as my brother is hanging up the phone from talking to entitled Dad. He has decided to not watch the game with us. He has changed his mind and is going to drive to Las Vegas to have fun there. Needless to say, I was pissed. This entire weekend was set up to watch the game, and he ditches last minute to go to strip clubs? After I calmed down a bit, I had a good time with my brother and his family, watching the game and eating some food. Later that night, I get home and go downstairs to make sure the space heater was off. This is where I find it. The entire time that he has been here, he has been spitting his chewing tobacco on the floor, windowsill, and bed. Plus, the bed has dirt stains and sweat stains from him sleeping in it and the overpowering smell of BO. I am extremely pissed off and I refuse to talk to him or call him. I figured I would not have to deal with him again for a long time, and it will not be worth it. Oh, how I was wrong. After his Las Vegas trip, he keeps blowing up my phone, but I still don't answer. Several weeks this continues, and I finally give in and pick up. Wow, you finally picked up. Yeah, sorry about that. I was starting to think that you were not going to talk to me because I trashed your basement. Well, Entitled Dad, you are right. I did not like that, and I did not appreciate you treating my house and property like that. Well, it's not my fault. You didn't accommodate me. The space heater was too hot. I'm sorry the space heater got too hot, but that does not... Cuts me off. Hey, I gotta go. Hangs up on me. Later on, I found out that he called 2 of my brothers. I have 3 older brothers. He told them I was horrible to him, that I was screaming and yelling. He told one brother that it was my fault because I did not provide him a trash can, even though Entitled Dad did not ask for one. The other brother he told that I did not accommodate him right, but did not go into details, other than I yelled at him. The conclusion is nothing exciting. We are not talking and he is avoiding me, but to be honest, I would rather have it this way. Since I turned 19, he has never seen or treated me as a son, but as a buddy. Also, something I should clarify as well, the reason I did not call or yell at him is because it's not worth it. He is a 62-year-old man-child that still technically lives with his elderly parents and makes them take care of him when he is not on the road in his truck. If we confront him, then he just makes life hard for them and whines and complains to them. So over the years, we have learned to deal with it the rare occasions we see him and then send him on his merry way. One thing you can't choose in your life and you have no control over is who your parents are, but you can make the decision whether you keep those parents in your life or not. I think this is a perfect candidate to be cut out and have no contact. On to our next story. Psycho, entitled Uber Bitch Crashes Our Movie Night, Gets Owned. Let's jump right in. Totally forgot about this until I heard a similar story. This happened many years ago, but I remember most of it because it was just so effing stupid, and I briefly wrote about it in my journal. I'm female and at the time was in my late 30s, as were the rest of the group. I used to have a friend, she moved so we lost touch, who had an uber bitch of a younger sister, along with her rotten little 8-year-old female crotch goblin. I mean, this kid was such an a-hole, and her shithead mom enabled and indulged her. This kid would always take other people's stuff and either mess with it, break or eat it, or steal it, and would throw a fit if you stopped her, causing mommy to get in your face. Of course, Uber Bitch never offered to replace anything. One night, a bunch of us, all women this night, went to my friend's house for a horror movie marathon night. We did movie night 2 to 3 times a month, always with a different theme, and friends and spouses were welcome. And each of us was expected to bring a snack. Drinks, alcohol was optional, and 1 or more movies, usually R-rated. We'd then pick, via mutual agreement, the 3 or 4 we liked best to watch. Suffice to say, young kids weren't allowed. We were well into our first movie and 2 bottles of wine when my friend's front door opens and her Uber bitch walks in, unannounced, says she's going clubbing, and tries to dump the kid on us because we were staying home anyway, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Friend is pissed and refused to watch the kid because, she later told us, A, she's a spoiled, destructive brat. B, Uber bitch didn't call or ask, despite multiple warnings. C, this was her time to unwind with friends, not babysit her sister's rotten crotch fruit. D, none of the movies were remotely child-friendly, and she wasn't gonna alter her plans just because sis wanted to go clubbing. And E, did I mention the kid was a spoiled, destructive brat? She didn't say any of this, just gave a flat no, to which both Uber bitch and the kid threw a tantrum. Turned out, she told her daughter she would be having a fun movie night with Auntie. As they argued, the kid took the opportunity to grab the remote and started playing DVD we'd paused when they let themselves in. It was the 1988 remake of The Blob and was mine, and started watching. None of us stopped her because, honestly, we were too busy watching the sisters fight to notice. Ironically, we had paused it just before a particularly scary and gross scene, where a little boy gets grabbed, pulled under the water, then comes up half melted and screaming before being dragged back under and devoured. Naturally, the brat freaks out and starts crying, which alerts Uberbitch, who starts screaming at us for letting her kid watch. I'm paraphrasing here because this was a while ago and I didn't write her words. Our disgusting movies. Pretty sure she also dropped off a couple of F-bombs too, then demanded to know who it belonged to. Since I hated Uberbitch, I got up off the couch, but surprisingly, so did another friend who I'll call friend 1, a very buff, sporty girl who Uberbitch hated and actively feared. This was because they'd gotten into a fist fight the year prior when Uberbitch groped friend 1's fiance at a party, and no, she wasn't drunk, then slapped friend 1, who promptly beat the crap out of Uberbitch in front of everyone. Friend 1 glared at her, then said, "It doesn't matter whose movie it is. What matters is you coming in here uninvited, giving your sister shit, not watching your effing kid, then getting pissed off when your kid again touches stuff that isn't hers and ends up scaring herself. Now, I suggest you get your kid, turn around, and go effing home." A smart person would have done what friend 1 said, but Uberbitch was never particularly smart. Instead of leaving, she turns to me and starts getting in my face, probably figuring I wasn't going to retaliate because she was smaller than me. She's my height, but much slimmer. She was right, but also wrong. I have a temper, always have, but my temper will first manifest as sarcasm, right up until I either reach my BS saturation point or the dumbass picking the fight touches me. Then it's game on. And by that point, I don't give a shit if you're smaller or bigger. So she got in my face, screaming a mishmash of oral flatulence I didn't really listen to nor care about, except a sentence or two. We needed to care for her kid. WTF? When she stopped to take a breath, I said, "Why is it our job to watch your kid? It's not like any of us pushed her out of our vag." Uberbitch actually gasped, like someone in a graphic novel, and yelled in my face, "You have a son!" "Yes, I do," I replied, starting to get really mad. "But do you see him here?" "No, that's because I'm not a self-centered bitch who'd bring him to an adults-only gathering or dump him on others without asking." This really set her off, and like any entitled moron who can't fight, she tried to slap me. Luckily, she fights like a girl. Too bad for her, I don't. When Uberbitch pulled her arm back, people never telegraph your blows. I moved slightly to the side, grabbed her arm, rotated it behind her back, grabbed her hair, then planted her face hard in the nearest wall, pinning her arm behind her back. Damn, it felt good. Uberbitch struggled and cursed, but I wasn't letting go. I told her she'd have 3 choices. She could take her kid and leave quietly. I could kick her butt in front of her kid. I'd never do that, but she didn't know that, and by this point, one of the others had taken the kid into the kitchen, but I was too busy to notice. Or I could call the cops, have her arrested for assault, then call her ex, who hated her because she cheated, to come pick up the kid. Uberbitch agreed to option 1, but then tried to get my friend to side with her once I released her, because family. Friend responded by taking Uberbitch's keys, removing her house key, and telling Uberbitch that neither she or her kid were welcome in her house, and to please GTFO. The look on Uberbitch's face was one of utter shock, as if she'd discovered someone pissing in her cereal bowl. Uberbitch then looked at all of us for support. Why she looked at me for help, I just don't get, but we just glared at her. Realizing nobody would side with her, Uberbitch grabbed her kid, called us all, especially me, and left, slamming the door. Friend apologized to us, no need, we all knew her sister was an a-hole, then immediately called her parents, giving them the lowdown and warning them that unless they wanted to end up watching the brat all weekend, they'd better get in their car and go anywhere else. Uberbitch had done this before many times, and to warn the other relatives as well. Uberbitch didn't get to go clubbing and soon after lost custody of the brat to her ex. Don't know what happened to her since and don't care. It's not too often that a story I read actually gets me into a bit of a rage. I'm so glad that she got put into her place and actually really happy that she lost custody too. That child needs structure to grow up healthy, and she's not going to get it with that person as a mom. I'd like to thank both OPs for posting their stories to the Entitled Parents subreddit. You can visit them at the links in the description below. Please go there and give them an upvote. Once again, this is Rob from Karma Comment Chameleon saying thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.